When our ancestors lived on the tundra, life was mostly peaceful with the occasional threat. Our brains evolved for that pattern: peace, 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 threat. But now it's constant threat in this world, constant highlights, constant input. So as the world continues to speed up again with spring energy, our digital inputs increase too. So you've heard it before on a digital detox: turn off your phone, go do some yoga, read a book. But today we're going to go deeper into why this matters for your brain and for your life. So this isn't about just about technology, it's about what we allow into our minds. So if this is interesting to you, come on with me into the Mind Lab and let's dive in. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm Carrie Richard. I am a mindset coach and I help high achievers make space and enjoy the ride, and in that, help them to make the impact they truly desire without sacrificing the rest of their lives to do so. So, we are going to talk digital detox and we are going to work with how our brains work to make this effective for you and also make it personal to you. This is not, you can go follow the formulas. However, when we buy into what we're doing, and how we do that is to understand what the reward is in it, then we're much more motivated to be consistent and to actually follow through. Our brains work on a reward system. So I'm going to give you some information today to help you understand why this is so vital to your well-being in this very loud digital world. It doesn't mean to push it all the way. It means to be smart about it and to work with our nature, with our brain, so that we are not in constant threat. So one of the things, we have this threat response. It's been built in since we were on the tundra, and it tells us that our life is in danger. The issue, one of the issues, is that this threat response is has one speed. It does not, we don't differentiate. There's not small threat, medium threat, large threat. Our physiology is evolved so that a threat is a threat is a threat. And what happens is our body goes out of rest and digest, homeostasis, where our body actually does all the things, has all the resources it needs to stay healthy, to perform well. It can take us out of that and go into overdrive. And I will do another vlog on more detail about how all these things, like what all the things that are happening. But for today, just know that social media drama or a life and death situation, our bodies, our brain and our bodies physically respond in the same way. So the idea is really to understand, how do I lower the amount of threats that come to me? One of the things that can be done is notifications. So constant notifications put us on high alert and keep us in, can keep you in this chronic state of not being fully in your body, fully in rest and digest, where your body has all the resources to take care of itself. That's why many people have chronic stress. We have a very, or we find ways to unhealthy ways to try to bring ourselves back into homeostasis, which can be binge watching Netflix, it can be eating things, it can be drinking, or all sorts of things to try to bring ourselves back in. The idea of a digital detox, of really taking a real conscious look at how you utilize digital things, and how much precedent they take throughout the day, and where you have space to be more focused. To look at that really reduces the reaction or the pull to go do things to escape. So the idea is really bringing ourselves back into this window of tolerance. And it takes time. And so understanding how important it is really helps to get you on a track. And I'm going to go over a couple different things, different ideas. Don't try to implement all of them. Pick something that is really meaningful for you, and one at a time, because our brains also are very predictive, and our brains change is not easy. So to go implement 6 changes all at once, your level of success is going to reduce. So pick one, okay? Have a paper. I'm into note cards right now. Any kind of paper, and a pen, pencil, crayon. And first, I'm going to ask you the question, and take a minute or two of why are you attracted to the idea of a digital detox? What are you desiring to be free of or improve upon with a digital detox? So I encourage you to press pause and to write down your intention. This is going to help you choose the most important to you next step in a digital detox. Okay, do you have your intention, or why it's important for you to look and take a step towards a digital detox? I encourage you to read it out loud to yourself right now. One of the first reasons for me of doing a digital detox is I did not want to be totally exhausted and burnt out at the end of the day. At the time, I was working in high tech full time. I was raising a son who was about 10 at the time. And I was going in a full-time program in school to become a coach. And there was just so much going on. And by the end of the day, I was worn out. And yes, my life was very full, but I was beginning to get sick. And so, like, physically, my body was wearing out. And so I was introduced to this idea of really taking a look, being conscious about what I'm allowing in, and at what frequency, and how many interruptions was I having during the day. Obviously, life is full of interruptions, but many of them are self-induced. I've mentioned before, notifications are one of those. There are studies that show that when we are interrupted, especially if we're in thoughtful work or something that we're really focused on, it takes between 14 and 28 minutes to actually come back to the work. So we are throwing time out the window when we are constantly interrupted. So the first thing I did was I had a box, a wooden box, and my phone and my son's went in the box at 8 o'clock every night, and it did not come out until an hour or two after I woke up in the morning. And this gave me some space and some time to wind down at the end of the day, to process what I might need to do for the next day, to be prepared. And then also, upon awakening, I wasn't bombarded with everybody else's agenda, and could really begin the day. Because we are most, when we feel safe in the present, that is when we are in that rest and digest, when our actual physical body, our systems are working. We have resources for our systems to work well, because there really is no life-threatening thing occurring at the time. So that helped me a lot. And it was also, it can be very drastic. If you're willing to do it, please do. And you'll see that there are massive benefits to ending your day and beginning your day in the present, in like an analog world. Okay. So take a moment on your piece of paper where you have why your intention of doing a digital detox. You might, if that sticks with you, make a note. Whatever you feel about putting your phone in a box, think about it. I'm so glad you're still with me. I am gonna give you some other strategies to do a digital detox that may not be so encompassing as putting your phone in a box. Actually, they're not as encompassing and also extremely effective. Again, like I said, our brains can react to big changes. So small shifts, when they're done consistently over time, this is a long game, right? When we're done consistently over time, is really going to have a huge impact in your well-being, mental and physical well-being, as we navigate the very full life and full world that we are a part of these days. So here's some more impacts on digital overload, on being bombarded. That's a strong word. Having a lot of input coming in all the time. And that could be like constantly checking emails, or it could be notifications going off, or it could be binge watching TV, or it could be starting your day with the news, or it could be just being distracted by all the shiny objects that are all around us all the time. So take a minute, and I want you to write down, what is the biggest distractor, the thing that takes you out of your work or your relationship, focusing on, the people in your home, anything like that. What is your biggest distractor today? Just write it down. Okay. All right. When we are constantly context switching, which means going from one thing to another, like I said, interruptions have a major impact when we're interrupted, especially if you're doing creative work, deep work, focused work, which is where often we do our best work, no matter what we're doing. It also, when we are feeling like we're threatened, right? There's too much, overwhelmed. We have chronic we're chronically tired, even though physically we may not be tired. This we have a huge mental load, which actually takes a lot of our energy. What happens is decision making becomes clouded when we're in this state. We're not, again, in that rest and digest. When we get pulled out of that rest and digest, our prefrontal cortex, which is where we executive function is, where we make decisions, actually is not well resourced. And so we do not make good decisions or the best decisions. So this is another reason to be cognizant of where we are and the choices that we get to make. Again, like I said, our energy is depleted. Even if we're getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night and you're still exhausted, please keep listening and consider making a shift, making one shift today. Yes, please consider making one shift today. So we're going to go through an exercise, and I want you to write on your paper instead of, and leave some space, and then go down and write try, okay? And leave some space. And you're going to fill this in. So I'm going to give you some ideas. And if something comes to mind right away, write it down. If you have a couple, write them down, okay? There is something with actually writing it versus typing it, okay? So hopefully you have your paper. Instead of checking email in bed, try a 5-minute breathing exercise or stretching. There's yes, my dog is agreeing. That's Buster. There is in cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, there is a concept that our bed is for 2 things. It's for sleep and it's for sex. And so if there's other things going on in your bed, I highly recommend do something different. Okay. So instead of scrolling news feeds, try writing 3 goals for the day. Your agenda. Instead of social media before bed, try reading a physical book or journaling or knitting or taking your dog for a walk or taking yourself for a walk or making a cup of tea. Instead of a Netflix binge, try a bath with candles or intimate time with your partner. Instead of back-to-back Zoom calls, if that's your gig, try walking meetings or just the phone. Ask yourself, do these all have to be on Zoom? Instead of constant email checking, please try designated times. This is a really big one because not only is it very administrative, for lack of a better word, it is also other people's agenda, right? Which is great. Most of my clients are really making big impacts in other people's lives. Like they're making a big impact. They care deeply. So it's important to be on other people's agendas. However, the more grounded we can be, the better off we can serve. So I encourage you to check email at designated times. This is another thing, it keeps us from context switching, because when email becomes an interruption, if you have your notification on for your email, please, if it makes a sound when you get an email, please consider trying to turn that off. All right. Instead of mindless scrolling, try setting a timer for 10 minutes. Or try drawing, pottery, yoga. Try something. Ask yourself, is there something I want to learn? And then go do that. Instead of digital entertainment, try nature walks, coffee with friends, or a hobby like I've just referenced. So I'm going to ask you to pause this for a minute and listen to yourself, because this is where the answers are. And fill out that statement. Instead of something that you do, it doesn't have to be the biggest distraction, but you can go for it. Instead of this, try this. Okay. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope you have all this written down. There's a reason for this. You are imprinting it into your brain by writing it. You're making a declaration which makes us much more successful at what we are setting out to do. You also have why you came here to listen to this. When I encourage you to put this in front of you so you can be reminded of this new behavior you're practicing, this new decision you've just made. And when you get discouraged, go back to the why you're doing this. And I'm here for you. If you reach out to me, if you need help with this, I also have some other resources that go into more detail about how to improve being burnt out or tired, or how to work with your brain to really live the life you're here to live. So we call this digital detox because and often a detox sounds like a quick fix. This is a process. My encouragement is do it for at least 30 days, see the improvement, and then if you want to layer the next one on top, then do that. Listen to this again. Choose something else, because this is your life. You are here. It is a busy world. It does not have to be ignored, but it can absolutely be worked with smarter when we know how to work with our own brains. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you got something out of this, if this really interests you, thank you so much for being here. Please hit the subscribe button so you know when the next vlog is coming out in the Mind Lab. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to learn how to thrive outside your comfort zone, contact me and we can talk about that. And until next time, take care.